Okay, it is 5:58 p.m., August the 27th, 2020. Just want to say welcome to everyone. My name is Lori Carter. I'm the Director for Planning, Zoning, and Community Development for Wicomico County, and we are very grateful to have all of the participants, all of the elected officials to be on this evening, as well as any of our public that decided to join us. I just wanted to provide a welcome before I turn it over to Julia Glanz for the City of Salisbury, who's also been working very hard with me as well on this great endeavor. We have been out even on this afternoon in Mardella, trying to make sure that we get the citizens of Wicomico County counted. We want to be very cognizant of time, so I'm going to turn it over to Julia at this time.
Well, good evening, everybody. So happy to see you. Thanks for making the time. I just want to echo Lori's comments and just say how proud I am of this CCC committee, our Complete Count Committee, that have been busting their butts since last summer, I think, is when we started this, and we all thought it would end in the spring, and you know, here we are. But we've got a month left, essentially, and it is critical that we all put in the work here because our numbers aren't where we need them to be and where we want them to be, and that's not for a lack of effort, I can promise you that. But any support we can get from the City Council tonight and the County Council is much appreciated, and folks in the community that are watching, please chat with your neighbors and your friends and make sure they fill out those forms. So thanks to both councils for all of the support thus far, and we'll hopefully get us over the finish line at the end of September.
Thank you, Julia. We do appreciate that, and I definitely echo everything that you just said. We have been out there doing all that we can to make sure everyone is counted. At this time, we want to at least acknowledge that we have John Watson from the state of Maryland that is here with us from the Maryland Department of Planning, and we are very grateful to have John here. And at this time, I'm just going to give him a quick minute to say hello, to bring greetings.
Good evening, everybody. I know a lot of you guys know me from past things that maybe I've been involved with, but I've been working now for the Department of Planning for the last over a year, working with all the local complete count committees throughout the state. And I got to say that the Wicomico Complete Count Committee is definitely one of the highlights, definitely in the state of Maryland. Working with Lori and Jesse and the team has been fun. Has been a lot of good hard work going on down here. And we are very, very close to making our 2010 self-response rate, matching what this county did 10 years ago. We are now under 2 percentage points to matching that number. So a little extra push here the next 35, 34 days, wherever we're at now, until September 30th will go a long way. And appreciate all your guys' support and helping to push out to your jurisdiction's messaging and anything you guys can do to help this county push over the finish line. So thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, John. We do appreciate you as well. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to one of the co-chairs, and that's Ms. Sonia Whiten, who has been definitely working very diligently with all of us and helping us. She is the social media queen, as I refer to her. So I'm now going to turn it over to Sonia.
You're hilarious. Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. And the main reason for this call is really Julia and Lori hit on it. We've been working hard for a year, and we want to make sure that in this last push we get everybody involved. So this slide is all we're going to go over in terms of the education. I think that if you participated in our last virtual town hall, or I know that you've read stuff about the census as well, this is also a basic reminder too, but we just want to make sure to emphasize why an accurate count is important, right? So what we talk about with the funding, and this is what we heard in May, but it's $1,825 per year per person that's not counted, And we remember that the census is every 10 years. So we want to get as large of a count as we can, and we'll go into that a little bit more. Like I said, that's the point of this presentation. So many government programs are allocated using census population data as well, and you could see those programs on the left-hand side. So there's the healthcare, there's SNAP, there's school lunches, Medicaid, water and waste disposal, roads and transportation, all things that constituents in our community need as well. So there's the other pieces, you know, in terms of redistricting and apportionment as well as for infrastructure services and other things in our community. We wanted to have our full funding and get a complete count. And again, that is the purpose of our meeting this evening. So Jesse, oh yes, you are still there. So next slide, please. And that is you going over our map. Somebody needs to mute their phone, I think, if you can, please. So what I'll just talk while Jesse's pulling up the map. And in terms of, so there are a lot of resources for the census, and Maryland's been doing a great job as well. So there's a U.S. Census, Maryland's been doing a great job, and then Jesse has it up now. And so Wicomico County Planning Department has a great resource for us that he's going to review with us right now.
Yes, our department has been working with our GIS team here at the county, and we've developed this live map, this response rate here at the bottom of the screen. You can see our response rate from when we started tracking back in the early beginning of the year. You can see in March, and as we've been going up, we update this every day. There are some gaps, and you can see here in the middle of June when we started tapering off, there was no movement during that time. We've done pretty good. We plateaued for most of July, as you can see. We're starting to slowly pick back up steam again. Our team has been going very hard. We've been going out to many events multiple times during the week. Today we were at one this afternoon, and we've got more tomorrow. Here's a map that shows you the entirety of the county that we've mapped out here. And it's a live action map, so you can click on each one and see each district, each tract. And according to the Census Bureau, there's a 64% completion rate down on the west side of the county, which ironically, the west side of the county you can see is in the high 60s. They've done very well, along with the east side of the county. They've done very well also. The reason these tracts in the city core, the city of Salisbury predominantly, it does go outside of the city boundaries partially, and we've got another map to show that in a few moments. But these are the hard to count tracts identified by the Census Bureau. I don't know why that's not showing. You can see here we've got tract 1 that is at a 53.2% response rate right now, with 46.8% remaining that needs to be completed. You can move in here to track 2, and you can zoom right down here. We've enabled it here that you can zoom right down here through the street level and see where we're at with each area. Okay, I don't think. Yep. So track 3, which is our predominant hard to count area over on the west side of the county. Let me move my zoom window out of the way. We've got it set up that you can do imagery here, and you can see exactly, for those that are more familiar with areas of the county, you can see here, zoom down, and they're only at a 38.4% response rate compared to other areas of the city. Down by Salisbury University in the southern part of the city, they are at 58.5, so they're doing better than some. So that's the purpose that we're trying to get out into these neighborhoods, the people that know these areas, these territories, these districts, to encourage the people to complete their census. Okay, and we've got other maps here.
So Jesse, let me do this one, and then you can go to your other maps, okay?
Yep.
So another way to look at this, and these are graphics that are on our Facebook page. So our Salisbury, Wicomico County Census CCC Facebook page. We'll have the link on here afterwards. I know I'm trying to even remember what it is. But another way to be able to see this is just these graphics that were put together. So the first one here are is just the cities that the census has listed, and we just keep up with those percentages updated every 2 or 3 weeks. So Hebron has made the biggest actual jump. Besides being ahead, they've increased over 2 points since August 8th as well. Margella Springs, where Lori and Jesse were today, and Mr. Lee were today, and John, has not moved in 3 weeks. And so you see those numbers. Hebron's doing pretty well, but still, even though realistically, amongst us, we're targeting, 70, we really wanted to get to 100, like we talked about before, to make sure that we get the funding, et cetera. But this shows Hebron, Willards, Pittsville, you see that Delmar, Margella Springs, and Salisbury, at 56.1. And so that's our graphic that's on the left side. When we go to the right side, what you'll see here are the opportunity areas that are labeled by Maryland Census has a report that actually comes out and shows our opportunity track. Track number 4, to be blunt, that's why it's italicized. It's not on that report, but we still just put it on there just for completion. But you see, just as Jesse mentioned, because he showed it to you on the map, where we are with those census tracts. And so I'm going to reinforce, I think, with every slide that I speak on, that is why we're here today. It's more than the Census Roadshow, because they are working hard. I mean, Jesse and Lori and John have been at every one of these, and there's been a lot, even in the last few weeks. And there's members of the committee that have been there as well. And the in-person and having people fill that out has been very, very impactful. And so we're asking people, you see your districts, actually, Jesse will go over that on the next slide, and you can go there, Jesse, if you would like, where we need your help to try and get those numbers up. So Jesse, you want to talk about it?
Yep, this is a map that was made by our awesome GIS team here at the county. They've been very helpful with all of these maps that we've made. This map is specific to the city of Salisbury. As the city council people may recognize, we've got it color-coded by each representative, and you can see here in each district here is overlaid with the 101.01, 1, 2, 3. Those are the census tracts that the Census Bureau recognizes that you saw on the online map that corresponds to the response rate. As you can see, like we mentioned, track 3, that is a very hard to count, that we're only at 38% and is lagging behind significantly from where it was in past years. You can correspond and see track 3 is District 1, April Jackson. Whereas track 5, that was doing pretty well with the Salisbury University in that area and other parts of the city. It actually breaks up. You've got 3 different city council people here. You've got Jack Heath, April Jackson again, and Michelle Gregory. That is all part of their district. So it is interesting how the Census Bureau uses it it does not exactly overlay there's a lot of different overlay and different parts to this, but it is important. We've got to get these city numbers up and the outer reaches of the county up, because we're all in this together. And then we'll go on to the county council.
So, Jesse, just really quickly, when you can leave it right there too. The 105.03, isn't that primarily Salisbury University as well? Just to clarify.
Yes, Sonia. 105.03 is predominantly the Salisbury University area, which we're very much aware of. That's one of those tracks that we are having some problems because of the student population not actually being here at that particular time. So we have been working very closely with the Salisbury U. I believe Ms. LaWanda Gordy is on the line as well. She's been our champion for that, And so we are looking for any type of support from the councils to help us with that particular area.
Okay. This map is the same as the other one. It shows the census tracts, but this is with the county council map. As you can see, Josh, who's with us, predominantly for the most part, the southern part of the city of Salisbury is District 4, Josh's district, with District 3 that has the overlay that is more hard to count. That is County Councilman Ernie Davis, who is also with us. Council Vice President John Cannon, who is with us also. His district is at large, so he represents all of this. You can see we're trying to emphasize the hard to count areas here, which is predominantly the city of Salisbury area, and what we need to do to get those numbers up.
Now, I will say, the students, you're absolutely right. The students left in March. They are now returning. In fact, we just moved in. We're doing move-in this week. We're continuing to send push notifications to the students who are living off campus. It's still on their GallNet account, which if you're affiliated with the university at all, you know that they have to use their GallNet account for everything that they do. So this week, classes start on Monday. So the activity on their GallNet account should start to rise because they've got to find their classes, they've got to connect with advisors. So I'm just hoping, keep your fingers crossed because it's on the front and center of their GallNet account. They have to do nothing but actually click on it and they can complete the census. We do know, I will say this, that, and everybody's aware of this, that COVID has also, I think, impacted and distracted students. And, making that transition, we've been working all week with actually screening students as they return to campus. And so there have been some distractions, just to say that. It's not because we haven't made a concerted effort to connect with them. So just to let you know that we are still making every effort in connecting with the students.
All right, thank you. And can you go to the next slide, please, Jesse? Do you have any more maps? Yeah. So I saw a question that said, what can we council members do? And so this is what we need from you. So emphasizing the importance of census in all communications, encouraging the completion in all communications, and we'll show you on the next slide how you can complete it because it's the first time online, but there's still the availability of using the phone, not just for online, but calling on the phone as well as the paper documentation too, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But emphasize the importance of census in all communications. Events, if you tell us the events, like I said, the Census Roadshow has been doing it. They've been everywhere, and I think that at the end is a list of additional events as well. But if you have any where census can be not just mentioned, but it's actually what I mentioned before. It's been one of the benefits is that they're filling it out right then and there. And we're also in an environment that if you have Wi-Fi or a hotspot, they can literally use their phone too, as well to fill it out. It's mobile friendly and it's in 14 different languages. So again, events inform the Census Roadshow and encourage attendance. And I'm actually starting to smile because if you have not been on our Facebook page, and I know she called me social media queen, and this is not why I'm saying it, but Lori is hilarious on the Facebook Live. So if you just for entertainment value alone, I suggest going there and, telling people to just go there and see Lori and Jesse and John dancing in the back in action. It's something to see. But there is, and if you see some of those and when you were able to come out, Lori and Jesse interview you as well, and those go on to social media as well. So I know, for example, there's a few that, like Senator Addie Eckhart and people like that have seen that and shared that on their pages as well. That's what we asked too. So here's the actual the Facebook link, which is Salisbury Wicomico Census is where you could actually find it. It's very, very easy to find. I know the city of Salisbury shares information, and actually several of you do as well, but we can continue to encourage that. Those are the ways that we can think of right off the bat of what we need from you, of how you can help and increase the census is really, again, emphasize wherever you go, on your pages, et cetera, the importance of the census. Okay, so if you want to go to the next slide, Jesse, for me, please. So this is what we were talking about before. So there are 3 ways to take the census. I guess now 4 if you want to count the enumerator that comes knocking on your door, because they're coming around. So there's online, which is my2020census.gov. And you've probably seen that everywhere. Every time you see something with the census, a commercial or something like that, you can find that link. So that is the preferred way, but all of them are fine. They all take you to the survey. So there's the mail, the paper one that, the paper forms that were sent in March, says May and July, I think there were reminders. On those paper forms, just for your information, if anybody happens to ask you, if they're like, I don't know where it is, and there's like a code or a key that you're supposed to put in, you don't have to have the key to fill it in. So it's fine. They can do it whether it's online or by phone or whatever, even if they don't have that paper form that had a special like link or key or something to that as well. And then the other way to be able to do it is via phone. You can call it in if you don't want to use your smartphone and you want to actually call it. And this is a graphic that Becca from City of Salisbury put together for us with our 4 of our, well, English and Spanish and Creole and Korean. Those are the numbers where you can get to those languages. Let me also be clear that you can get to them 14 languages. And when you go online and you see the actual link for the survey, it says languages and you have 14 languages to pick from, like right off the bat. So it'll go automatically to Creole or Palang or some of the other languages that they have that are available. Okay, so enumerator started again July 31st. And to answer the question that you just asked, Josh, so in the state of Maryland, the average number that's been used is that it's $1,825 per year per person who doesn't fill out the census, or you could say that does fill out the census, but we'll look at who doesn't fill out the census. So again, since it's every 10 years, $18,250 is lost for each person that doesn't fill it out for our community. Jesse, you want to go to the next slide?
Hey, Sonia.
Yes.
Before you move on to the next slide, I want to also add, as far as the county and also with the city of Salisbury, I think we're coming down to the end of our grant expenditures. So if anyone have any business that would like to donate gift cards, we have found that to be a big success at a lot of our events. So that's a way that you can also help us as well. If you would like to, if someone knows of someone who owns a business and would like to be able to actually contribute, that would be great as well. So thank you.
Sonia,
Okay.
one quick question for you as well. Does the 1825 equate to what it would bring for a student as well?
It's an average, so it's not going to different demographics. If that's an average for the state of Maryland.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out how to maybe capture their attention using expanding more information through social media. So I'll talk to Jesse about that offline.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But it is an average number to use for it's across the board, so it's not specific. So I have to use it for the students as well. So here's the information, the contact information. So again, plug the Facebook information there. And in terms of the state, they have the website, again, census.maryland.gov. Maryland Census also has a Facebook and a very active Facebook and Twitter. You can get text messages, and if you have any questions for us, and I believe that you've received information from us in the past as well, in terms of always reach out to us at census@wicomicocounty.org. If you wanted any of the graphics that we showed, if you wanted the links, if you had some suggestions for events, I mean, you're also in the building too, so you see who's on the committee. But definitely let us know, because we will come out to that as well. So the next, I think that's the last slide before we have questions and answers, and I wanted to get to that if we had a chance from the elected officials. So Jesse or Laura, you want to go over the upcoming events?
Well, I'm not going to read them all, but I will, since they happen to be on here as far as the upcoming events, but I would ask that each of you would look at these events and see if you're able to at least stop by, say hello, do a live interview. At the end of this presentation, you will be receiving a copy of this, so that will be sent to everyone. But again, I will at least highlight tomorrow we'll be at the Pemberton Manor Apartments from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if anyone is in the neighborhood, if you're able to stop by, we would greatly appreciate it. Again, like I said, we're going to be busy right up until September 30th. And as Sonia said, if for some reason that you happen to hear about any event, we don't care what kind of event it is, that is being scheduled or happening, let us know, because we will be able to attend that. So let us know, and we will try to get that on our schedule.
I believe Kevin Lindsay is with us. He is the Neighborhood Relations Manager with the City of Salisbury, if I'm correct with Kevin's title. We've been working closely with him and Julia with the City of Salisbury for this next month of September. We only have until September 30th, so we're doing this final push. He's determined Moss Hill neighborhood will be next Wednesday. It will be the pattern of their neighborhood walks. For those that are familiar with that, getting out into the neighborhood, they're going to have some food giveaways, draw them back out into the park. We'll be there. There's also one that's set on Wednesday, September 16th in Johnson Lake neighborhood. They've also done 2 other Wednesdays that you can see, the 9th and the 23rd. They're looking for a location for us to come to you. So we encourage you to reach out to myself or reach out to Kevin, Julia, someone on the committee. If you know a park or an area that this can be done that you would be open to letting us know, we would love to hear from everybody for that.
And thank you, Angela. We saw that you will be able to make the Moss Hill event. That's awesome. And the last thing that I just wanted to say too, the first thing is, if there's questions that we don't get to, because we have 3 more minutes until 6:30 and we want to be sensitive of everybody's time, definitely, like I said, reach out to people that you may see, or you have the email address to census@wicomicocounty.org. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we are coming to you as elected officials, but there has been a lot of work as well with the community. So Mr. Lee's on here has been doing a lot of work with the faith community, as well as Luanda Dawson-Smills that talked about Salisbury University, been doing a lot of work there. Some nonprofits such as United Way and Community Foundation have done some things, especially earlier. People from the towns, towns in like Del Mar and Hebron have been doing work as well. And the other piece is that the GSC, Greater Salisbury Committee, and Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce, they've been doing some work and been pushing them to actually do more. And I work at Purdue, and I'll just tell you, speak it into existence, they've been talking to them as well. So emphasizing that with people that are already familiar, that are getting a little notification, is another thing to be helpful with. We just need everybody to be counted. That's really it. So there is maybe we have we have 2 minutes. And I definitely use the chat too, but does anybody have any questions or suggestions or anything that they want to share right now?
Hey, I have a question. On
I don't
that map, he said that section 3, he said it's hard to track. What does he mean that it's hard to track?
No, I think that, so if you mean Census Tract 3, that's what you're talking about? So what we call those areas that have like those hard to count is what he said. And that's just a term that we use for a hard to count area. In terms of, it's just a nomenclature, or in the slide that I showed you with the graphics, just if you want to go back to that one, the easier way to call it, or what I like to call it, is opportunity track, because they also have been using that more than hard to count. So if you go back to the graphic side for me. One more. Yeah. So when you see in the red, and you see, I'm acting like y'all can see my cursor, but City of Salisbury 2020 identified opportunity areas. The old nomenclature was hard to count areas, but now it's just the opportunity area. So I think that's what you heard. Tell me if that's wrong.
He said it was just hard to track, and I was just understanding why it was hard to track. Is it meaning that people are just not responding, or is it because there's a lot of patients that live in that area?
Yes.
Yes, it was hard to count. What was mentioned was hard to count, and it's because it is a low.
That is correct. It's a low response area.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, it is 6:30. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Hopefully we will see those numbers be able to go up. And is there anything else, Lori or Jesse or Julia, that you wanted to share? I don't know if you have any information that they can pick up or anything like that.
If anyone has or needs any information, we have tons of information in the planning office. Please send us an email or just give us a call. We'll make sure that you will get those items. I do want to thank everyone for actually participating in this joint effort. Your support has been phenomenal, and we're just believing we're going to get it done. As I said, we're going to get it done.
All right, so have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us.